With Pocono in the books, it's time to set up the playoffs for the Truck Series. So with Pocono in the books, we are now in the postseason for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Let's hand it over to Mark here so we could set up some predictions for this upcoming playoff run.
Before we jump into the predictions, we'll take a look at how we got here over the course of the season. Zane Smith was the first to lock in the spot, winning the season opener at Daytona. He would go on to win 3 times in the first 8 races to lead the league in wins with 3. He also led the league in top 5s with 9, top 10s with 13, and laps led with 347, as well as an average finish of 8.7. All these stats for here and in the future just being of full-time drivers. En route to winning the regular season championship, and he starts off the playoffs as our points leader. Chandler Smith was second to lock his way into the playoffs, emerging from a crazy ending at Las Vegas to capture the win there. Second in top 5s with 7, top 10s with 11, and average finish of 8.8, just behind Zane Smith's 8.7. He also won the season finale at Pocono to finish second in the regular season championship. Starts off the playoffs in second as well. Ben Rhodes was the third driver to lock into his spot when he won at Bristol Dirt. He finished the season 8th in top 5s with 5, 6th in top 10s with 9, and 8th in average finish with 12.9. While he started the season hot, being in the top 5 in points for all of the first 15 races, and even led the points in races 5 through 8 and races 11 and 12, but down the stretch ultimately slipped to finishing 7th in the regular season standings. He does, however, start the playoffs seated 3rd behind his win and a series-leading 8 stage wins. John Hunter Nemechek was the 4th driver to lock up his playoff spot when he won at Darlington. He finished 3rd in the regular season standings and 2nd in top 5s and top 10s, tied with Chandler Smith. He ranked 6th in average finish at 11.4, courtesy of 5 finishes of 24th or worse, including 3 straight to start the season. John Hunter Nemechek will start off the playoffs in 4th. Stuart Friesen was the 5th and final driver to lock up his playoff spot by winning when he broke his 2.5-year winless streak, taking the checkered flag at Texas. He finished 4th in the regular season standings and ranked 6th in top 5s with 6, also 6th in top 10s with 9, but 3rd in average finish with a 9.8. Starting the playoffs in 5th. Christian Eckes made it into the playoffs by finishing 5th in the regular season standings, with the best finish of 2nd at Texas and Gateway. He ranked 2nd in top 5s with 7. Actually, I believe that it was 4th in top 5s with 7. And 4th in top 10s with 11. Actually, no, sorry. He was tied. There was a 4-way tie, actually, for 2nd in the top 5s with 7. So he was 2nd in top 5s with 7. 4th in top 10s with 10. And 4th in average finish with 10.4, starting off the playoffs in 6. Similar to his teammate, Ty Majeski finished 6th in the regular series standings, actually tied with Christian Eckes for 5th, although had 5th Eckes had 5th with a tiebreaker. His best finish of the season was a 2nd at Kansas. He also tied with Christian Eckes, finished 2nd in top 5s with 7th, 4th in top 10s with 10, and was just behind him in average finish 10.5 versus Christian Eckes 10.4. He will start the playoffs in 7th. Carson Osavar finished 8th in the regular season standings to qualify for the playoffs. His best finish of the season was a 2nd at Bristol Dirt and Darlington. He ranked 6th in top 5s with 6, and also ranked 6th in top 10s with 9, and had 7th in average finish with an 11.8. He was one of 2 drivers who was outside the playoffs after race 5, and still managed to race his way in, and he starts the playoffs seated 8th. Grant Enfinger finished 9th in the regular season standings to qualify for the playoffs. His best finish was a 2nd at Charlotte. He ranked 9th in top 5s with 3, 10th in top 10s with 7th, and 9th in average finish with a 13.5. He was the last driver to enter the playoff grid after being outside of it. He was outside as of race 7 at Darlington, but still managed to race his way in and start the playoffs in 9th. Matt Crafton finished 10th to take the last playoff spot. His best finish was actually a 5th at Darlington. He ranked 11th in top fives with 1, 9th in top tens with 8, and 10th in average finish of 14.1. He starts the playoffs seated 10th. The first race that we are going to, actually next week, or I guess this coming week, is IRP, a track that it's been what, Brandon, a decade since they've been there?
Just about. It was like, what, 2012, 2013, sometime around then. I know a lot of people weren't excited when they made that move. And actually, just pulling up here, 2011. That was actually the last time
So 11
they
years.
were there, yes. So Timothy Peters, obviously no longer racing in the series, but he was the last driver to win there. It's been a long time, and I know a lot of fans were definitely excited when they made this announcement last year that the Truck Series will be going back. So I know this is a highly anticipated race for a lot of people within the sport.
Starting off with my prediction of who's going to win here at IRP, I'm going with Chandler Smith. He actually won the last 2 ARCA races here and has had some success on shorter tracks in the Truck Series with wins at Bristol and Phoenix. And even this year alone should have probably had a win at Gateway, if not getting involved in an accident. Still managed to race his way back up, finish in the top 5 there. Brandon, who do you have winning?
So I'm going to go maybe a little bit outside the box, but he's shown a lot of speed as of late, and that's Ty Majeski. This is somebody who, well, he probably doesn't have, the numbers like Chandler Smith does here at IRP, being in the ARCA series, like in the more national series and types of racing like that. He does have a lot of track time here through, just late models, super late models, stuff like that, in Midwestern regional series. So it's a track he's very familiar with. He's been fast as of late. I'm gonna go with Ty Majeski to punch his ticket into the round of 8 by winning at IRP.
After IRP, the trucks take a couple weeks off before they head off to Richmond on August 13th. I have John Hunter Nemechek taking home the victory here. He won the Richmond race last year, led a race high 114 laps despite starting 18th. I think he has definitely been the best driver of the year that only has 1 win, and I think he gets the second one of the season here to punch his ticket to the round of 8. Brandon, who do you have winning?
Same as you. We're going with John Hunter Nemechek. As you said, very good here in the truck race last year. I believe he held off Kyle Busch for that one. Almost won the Xfinity race here earlier in the year as well. So he does seem to know how to get around Richmond. KBM, they're looking pretty solid right now. It hasn't been the year that we've probably expected out of them all around, but I think this is one of John Hunter Nemechek's better tracks, and not going to be shocked when he pulls it into victory lane at Richmond in a couple of weeks.
After Richmond, the Truck Series takes 3 weeks off before returning to Kansas on September 9th to close out the first round. I have Zane Smith winning this race. He flat out dominated Kansas the last time out and has probably had the most consistent speed at the intermediate tracks this year. Brandon, who do you have punching their way in the last race?
I also have Zane Smith again. Just he was so good here earlier in the year. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to go with him. Just so good at these intermediate tracks. It's not going to be surprising when he puts up a good run.
All right, and advancing into the round of 8, I have obviously our winners: Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, and John Hunter Nemechek, as well as Ben Rhodes, Stuart Friesen, Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, and Carson Hocevar, having Grant Enfinger and Matt Crafton falling out. Brandon, who do you have dropping?
I have Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton dropping out. I don't think it's shocking for Matt Crafton. He's been pretty meh this year.
I mean, he has 1 top 5 this season.
Yeah, he's not a good year for him.
Pretty competitive field. I honestly would be pretty surprised if he got out of the first round.
Yeah.
It's going to take complete catastrophe, I think, from multiple drivers for him to get out of the first round.
Yeah, and then Ben Rhodes, they just seem to be going backwards as of late. They just don't have what they had at the beginning of the year.
He slipped all the way to 7th. He finished the regular season in 7th, losing like 3 spots at Pocono. It's been bad. I still think even on average, he's probably been as good as, if not a little bit better than Grant Enfinger, and I think his playoff points might help him move on. I really thought I was going to have Ben Rhodes dropping out, but looking at it, like Enfinger has been very up and down as well. And I just think with his playoff points, Ben Rhodes might be able to squeak in over Enfinger.
Yeah.
After Kansas, we open up the round of 8 the following week, Thursday, September. Hold on, Jayski says 165. So I don't think
that's a date.
I don't think that is a date. Looks like it's going to be the 15th. Thursday, September 15th at Bristol. I have Chandler Smith taking home the win here. Obviously, last year's win was under questionable circumstances, but he does have 3 top 5s here in his 3 starts. Was running second even before, John Hunter mysteriously wasn't very good in those last couple laps. And I think Chandler Smith has been better this year than he was last year. So I have Chandler Smith taking home the win at Bristol. Brandon, who do you have winning?
I am actually going to be going with Carson Hocevar. He's been knocking on the door for that first career win, especially over the last couple races. Seems like he's always right there. I think it's going to happen in the playoffs. He did run very good here in the spring, but that's when we had dirt on the track. But still, he did have a solid run here in this race last year, finishing in the top 10. I think he's going to get the job done, and he's going to punch his ticket into the Final Four with his first career win.
I mean, I'd be pretty surprised if Hocevar doesn't get... I know there's only now 7 races left in the season, but he's certainly been right there. Then we head off. We take 1 week off, and then head off to Talladega on October 1st, the big wild card for them. And I have a non-playoff driver, Matt DiBenedetto, getting the win here. In 7 of the last 8 years, including 6 straight, the Talladega winner only won that race in that given year. And also, 4 of the last 6 winners got their first career win at Talladega. Now, 3 of them have not won again yet, probably never will. The 4th one is Grant Enfinger. But I mean, Matt DiBenedetto's a pretty good plate racer. They have shown more speed lately. I think he finally gets it done in NASCAR and wins at Talladega. Brandon,
I am going with Grant Enfinger. Opting to go a little bit here with the chaos. I just have him squeaking into the round of 8. Probably has no business being in the Final Four unless he wins a race, and Talladega would be the place for him to do it. Pretty solid plate racer, has won at Talladega, has won at Daytona before, knows how to get around these tracks, and I think he's going to shake up what everybody thinks is going to be the Final Four by getting still, I would consider an upset win given the season he's had, even though he's in the playoffs. Hasn't been his best year. GMS has been down. I'm going with Enfinger to score the surpriser, the shocker at Talladega.
It would be pretty shocking and would certainly upend the Final Four if Enfinger slotted in there. I think most of us feel that, people might even include Ben Rhodes in the conversation still just because he does have the win. But I think Chandler Smith, Zane Smith, John Hunter, Nemechek, probably the top 3. And you probably could include Ben Rhodes with Eckes, Hocevar, and Majeski, but Enfinger would certainly upend it and probably be... I'd have to look back all the way, but probably be the craziest guy in the Final Four that we've had so far in any of the series, really. Mm-hmm. You could maybe include Newman in the 14, but I mean, he just straight up had to point his way in, so it's really not even that crazy.
Yeah, no, it was a little different then because the playoff points didn't carry over round to round, and I think with how Newman ran in 2014, that playoff run he had in the Cup Series, his overall season was probably a lot better than Grant Enfinger's still.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We close off the round of 8 after taking 2 weeks off on October 22nd at Homestead. It's not the finale, but it is, at least for the Truck Series, the second to the last race of the season here. I have Zane Smith winning. Already mentioned he's been good on intermediates. This year, if you remove the DQ at Vegas, which was a second, and I don't think they're lug nuts, maybe it gave them a position or 2, but I don't think it gave them that much. And Texas, where they've had issues, they have a 4.2 average finish on the intermediates this year. It is a track that there's not any active drivers here other than Crafton that have won here and don't expect. So it's really, like a lot of these tracks, kind of just up in the air for who's going to go out and win. And I think Zane Smith gets it done and punches his ticket into Phoenix. Brandon, who do you have winning at Homestead?
Yeah, I'm also going with Zane Smith here. Don't think he's necessarily going to need the win. He's just been so consistent in this year, but these are the types of tracks that they've shown the most speed at. Zane Smith going to go to victory lane at Homestead. Nothing shocking there after Enfinger with the surprising win at Dega.
That is very true. Advancing to Phoenix, I have obviously our two winners, the two Smiths, Zane Smith and Chandler Smith. I also have John Hunter Nemechek and Carson Hocevar getting through as well, meaning that Ty Majeski, Christian Eckes, Stuart Friesen, and Ben Rhodes are who I have being eliminated. Brandon, 3 of your slots are obviously already filled with Hocevar, Enfinger, and Zane Smith. Who do you have as the fourth guy getting through?
So, the easy ones out of the people I have left to knock out here, Friesen, Eckes, Majeski for me. We'll set them aside. They're not advancing. So then it comes down to John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith. And right now, with how he's been running, I think Chandler Smith is just a little bit better than John Hunter. It sounds like it may be a bit of a surprise given the year John Hunter had last year. And, I think a lot of people expected him to be in the Final Four again. But as of right now, I just don't see it. I think Chandler Smith is the better pick there. Seems like more of a favorite to me, and I think he will point his way in to the championship four with his runs that he'll have in the 3 rounds and 3 races in the round of 8.
I mean, John Hunter mentioned on Saturday about how they didn't peak. They know last year they peaked too early, hoping that they have not yet peaked here. And I'm inclined to agree. That's likely going to have to be the case because I do think Chandler Smith has been slightly more impressive over the stretch here. After Homestead, the Truck Series does take a week off. They do not go to Martinsville, which I think is terribly unfortunate. And they take a week off before the finale in Phoenix on November 5th. I have Carson Hocevar pulling a Daniel Hemrick and getting the win at Phoenix, finally getting it done when it mattered most and taking home the championship in his second year. Brandon, who do you have winning at Phoenix?
I am going to be going with the driver who won at Phoenix last year, and that is Chandler Smith. It's going to be a pretty big deal if he can win this championship, just given everything that seems to be going on right now in the Toyota camp. We don't know what's happening with Kyle Busch Motorsports, given that we don't know what's happening with Kyle Busch right now. So he really needs to step up here. It could be a big moment in his career. I think, he ran pretty good here last year en route to that win. And if he could pull it off, and obviously I think he will because I have him winning the race, it's a career-defining moment for him, and it could really change the trajectory of what is yet to come for him. So, big spot for Chandler Smith. I think he's going to buckle down. He's going to pull it out, get the win at Phoenix, and win the championship.
It would not be the most shocking thing for sure. As you said, he did win the race last year. And, I mean, he's been pretty good this year. So,
it's going to be very interesting to see how the playoffs shake out and what the Truck Series are going to be shaping up for next year. So, obviously, can't wait to get it started at IRP. Should be a lot of fun. Any final thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be the last time I complain about this. The Truck Series playoffs across 7 races will take part in 5 different months.
That's just bad. Like, we've talked about this multiple times, and I think we even brought it up on the podcast the other day, but they need to fix this.
I don't expect them to all start at the same time. That would be my dream because I think it just makes it easy for the fans and easy for everybody that's just trying to watch and understand. But they can certainly spread things out to do a better job where they are not starting in July. Just my take.
I think a lot of people share the same take. I know I do. Wouldn't hurt if they added on a couple races. Probably not going to expect them to do that until a new TV contract in a couple years, but it is a possibility. And I'm with you. I hope that is something they do look to change in the future. But that is going to do it for our Truck Series predictions. I know Probably going to have a couple other prediction videos coming out here shortly, and of course, be sure to check out the podcasts when we post those. Always, twice a week, pre-race and post-race reviews. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Hi, Brandon Monroe here. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new content.